Hello everyone, welcome back to the Glassman's World. I'm Dan the Glassman and we're about to get started here. I need to make some more jellyfish, some glass jellyfish. You can check out facebook.com/ glass jellies. Is that what it is? The page is glass jellyfish jewelry, but I don't think I have the URL set up like that. I think it's just glass jellies. I'm not 100% sure. I guess I could check that and make sure. So we're about to get started here. I was showing off one of my pendants that's hanging over here on the side. I guess you can't really see it so far away. But this is one of my jellies that I have that I wear. And I guess I can I take it off without pulling the rest of them? Cool. So yeah, so this is a jellyfish right here, guys. So it's about an inch and a half big. It's made with a ribbon cane on the bottom that's manipulated in a way to where I have one in the center, five going around that one, and then that's built up onto a really tiny rod with a little piece of color put on the tip, and then that's how I push them in just like I would with the regular mushroom. So let's get started on these. I really do need to make a whole lot more. I completely sold out for Christmas. They're $20 each, and usually I do $20 two for 30 as my daily special. And for Christmas, I always do buy one get one free. So they were just going, left and right. People were buying five at a time, you know, 10 at a time, getting as many as they could get for the holidays. So I'm completely sold out and need to make more. So let's get started. These will all be available still for the buy one, get one free deal that I'm having until the end of the year. So everything right now is buy one, get one free till the end of the year. For those of you who are watching, for my subscribers, for all of my followers on Facebook and X, Twitter, Instagram, all those different places. All right, so let me get some glass here and we can make some jelly. So this is a ribbon cane right here, guys. It's simply a piece of colored glass that's been sandwiched or smashed between two pieces of clear and then spun on the inside. So this is a really nice jelly right here, or tentacles, I guess. So let's get started here. And grab this. And what else do we need? Do we need any others? There's another one. All right, one thing that we do need to make sure is that we have the proper color for the tip. So let's just see what colors we have here on the inside. I do need a dark multi or um, dark multis, any of the aquatic colors, aquatic carnival would be good. Any kind of metallic luster color would be good. This one, that would be a good one right there. I think that's a amber purple, and that could be triple passion. So that would be a good color for the jellyfish head. I've never used solid colored jellyfish head. You know what might actually be pretty cool to use would be just amber, just straight amber, and then that way it'd be kind of like a see-through brown. Also, the moonstone is, or not, I call it moonstone, but it's called ghost. And that is actually one of my favorites for making a jellyfish head. So let's get some of that out there too. We'll get some of the what I consider moonstone. And then if we're gonna do moonstone, let's get some of this white ribbon cane right here, and we'll do some really cool, basically like iridescent, translucent jellyfish. Let's see if I can get any other colors here that will be appropriate. I love the amber purples, the triple passions for this kind of stuff. That dark red might look really cool. That's either dark, it's either ruby or dark garnet. Not 100% sure. We could play with that some, but I think it's in this other thing here. So I think it's probably in this one here. So how you guys doing? Did you guys make it through the holidays okay? Did you guys get your gifts that you wanted, or were you able to get all the gifts that you were hoping to get for your kids? I know it's been really hard. We were able to be successful in getting our kids more than enough gifts, and able to almost bring my daughter to tears with some of her gifts, which is really awesome. I'm really happy with what my wife got for her and what I was able to do for her, and it was just really amazing. So, and we just got to count our blessings. I know it's not something we can always pull off and do, and I'm very grateful that we were able to make that happen this year. And I hope, I pray that you guys were able to make things happen like that as well. You know, all we can do is do the best we can with what we got. All right, so let me get my glasses on here and get our didymiums on. Always got to wear the didymium protective goggles. Make sure that we're always wearing safety glasses. That way we can see through the flame. All right, and we need to make sure we have some rod to work with here. Do I have any? Interesting. Might have to cut some rod. Really? There's one. Wow. Oh, look at that. I also found a piece of tubing. I've been wanting to make something with tubing. I was wanting to make a Christmas ornament. I didn't have the opportunity to make a Christmas ornament this year. I feel sad about that. So hopefully I can still pull that off. Okay, let me just cut a rod. We're getting close on our rods. We're gonna have to go get a new rod soon, or a new case of rod. All right, so I'm going to cut this into thirds here. So it's like, I don't know, about 2 feet, a little less, maybe 18 inches on each one. Seems like a lot more. I might be cutting this one really long. All right, so we got, oh yeah. That is definitely not thirds, that's for sure. That's almost a whole half of that rod there. Here, let me just cut these in half. These will be a little bit more manageable for me. I'll probably end up working that longer one anyways, just so I can get it short. So we can put this one down like this, but this one has two hot ends on it, so I need to make sure. And we'll move our glass right there. So that's a hot end right there. I got to make sure I don't touch that at all. That's always fun. Nice little obstacle there to play with. Alright, so we're going to get started here with building up the body or the tentacles. So if you've never seen this before, if you're a glass artist, this is basically a really simple demo or tutorial for you. I give away all my knowledge and everything for free here, so you can learn quite a bit from watching what I do here. Alright, here, we'll just grab this one here. So this one it's a ribbon cane, been pulled down to about the size that I like to work it with the size of the main tentacle, and I need to have some smaller ones. So let's get this brought down to about that size there, and then we'll pull even more. So I'm gonna create a basically another twisted cane here, a latticino. So we're just gonna stick that there. This is pretty much the thickness that I want. Here in the center it's a little bit too thick, so I'm gonna bring this down some and straighten it out. We'll start bringing the flame over to the thick part here, and you gotta like slowly work that flame to it, that way you don't crack it going from, you know, we're working this cold pretty much. That's the one thing about borosilicate glass, is it's very forgiving, but it can still crack and pop on you, and you know, it can throw some shards of glass at you if you're not careful with what you're doing. So you got to be real careful with that. Alright, so then we get this nice and warm. We're just going to bring this down to the right size rod that we want the center tentacle to be. And then we're just going to hold that heat right there. and slowly twist and pull, and keeping it nice and controlled. Got a little thin right there. So I'm just stretching out this ribbon cane here and bringing it down to about, like, you know, about 5 millimeter or so. Sometimes it gets a little bit thick, so maybe it gets up to about 7 millimeter. And I guess we don't need to pull this whole thing down. That'll be quite a few right there for us to work. Here, let me stretch this out a little bit and give it a twist. Make sure that's nice and tight. Keep it all at that same tight twist and consistency there. Just flash it into the flame a little bit. Don't get it molten, but get it to where it starts to get malleable again. Okay, so now what I need to do is pull the other side here now, and we're gonna go real thin here. And this is what we're going to use to draw the tentacles around the main center tentacle. So like I said, you start with the main one or the center one, and then you add 5 more going around those. And we'll make sure that twist is nice in there. So we just pull this a lot thinner than that main one. And I'm just going through and just pulling it a little bit thin here and there, and also tightening up that twist on the inside. All right. Think about there, where it starts to get thick again. So now we have one of these is a little bit thicker than the other one. And as you can see, the consistency, it's thicker on the right than the left. Of course, up here it's a lot thicker, so I probably need to pull that down some. You can probably just work it, actually. So now we have the smaller ones here. We have this one. This is the main one now. So this is the one we'll be working off of. And we're just going to draw, like, I don't even know how short of a distance this is. A little tiny length. Like that on the very end. Well, let's get this light on here. Maybe that'll help to see things a little bit better. So there's a little line, just, I don't know if you can see, it's like not even as long as my thumbnail. So we're going to do 4 more of those side by side next to each other. By having that clear glass on there, it's going to create that negative spacing. So I can pretty much put these side by side, and the color on the center is not going to like touch each other. It'll definitely have some spacing. I actually just drew an extra one. Alright, so now we've got those all wrapped around there. I'll usually heat that up, try to bring those in all together as one piece. I'm going to use the marving pad here to help to thin it out some. So now you can see it's all melted back down again. And that's the portion there with the extra tentacles. This one is all just one single one, but these ones have like 4 or 5 of them wrapped around it. Let me add some, this is what, double Mai Tai, which is an excellent color for the jellyfish head. I add a little bit of double Mai Tai on top right here. And this is where you need to add just enough of it so you can push that in and not push all of your tentacles in. So this is a very, very it just needs to be done properly. You got to know how much color to add, how to use, how much to leave behind, what you're going to push in, when to stop pushing it to create that mushroom implosion, and how to get the tentacles to still show without pushing them and hiding them underneath the color there. And then only pushing just that portion there and stopping right at the end. So there's a lot of like technical parts to this, but then it's also like real simple. It really is. Okay, here, let's just get this one here. So what I need to do now is just get the tip of this all molten. We'll gather all this extra glass that's hanging off there. We'll gather it back into the rod itself. We need some cobalt blue for the backing here. We'll just get that put into place. And so now these are just made as simple implosions. It's building up the tentacles, knowing how to build it up, how to add the color glass to it, and having enough color and everything on the tip of that, so that way you can push it in as a mushroom implosion. It's that simple. But then it's not so simple. You know, to draw on a little piece of glass that thin and not have it bend away from you and lose control of it. It takes some experience with working with glass. And then knowing how to push your simple mushrooms and getting them to implode and get a really large mushroom cap on them, that's going to help you with doing the same thing here with these. So now we got that all melted down back into the rod itself. And getting ready to implode the mushroom, or sorry, the jellyfish into there like a mushroom. So we get all the tip of the clear glass nice and molten. And we'll get this color a little bit ready to implode on the inside there. We'll go directly in the center here. Push it in, start getting that mushroom to happen, getting those tentacles up in there, pushing it in all the way till you get those tentacles to the very end there, then cutting off the single tentacle, leaving the multiple tentacles around it. So that way you start with a nice, fresh, clean piece of just one single tentacle and not a whole bunch of them there. And making sure that they're right out there on the end, and then getting rid of the air bubble. Just like we always do with the regular mushroom, these are just bigger pushed. They're just bigger than the original $5 mushrooms. They don't have any crazy detail work like these ones here. Or I have to like draw the eyes and build it up in multiple stages. This is just a couple stages, you know, building the tentacles up, getting the head or the bell of the jellyfish color on there, and then imploding it. And then cleaning it up, getting rid of the air bubble and making the loop, forming the loop. And I don't know if I've made any or many jellyfish with this new torch here. So this is new here. I'm still trying to figure out that sweet spot with this torch. And then once I get this air bubble, I'll melt it down. I'll try to show you the implosion and how big this the jellyfish bell or head imploded inside the clear glass. It pretty much like almost reached to the very edges of the clear glass, which is really nice. So once the air bubble's out, then I focus the heat on the very tip to get that bottom rounded down. And while it's extremely molten, I'm going to lay it down on its, what will then be considered the back of this pendant. So I just have to look at where I feel is the front, and I'll keep that to the top, and allowing the bottom to flatten out. So here we go. I'll just let it kind of fall and then flatten it. And now we got a flat spot on one side there. So it's just flat on one side. That's where we'll put the blue. which will then mimic or look like it's sitting in an ocean or in water, deep blue, deep blue sea. And then we got to be careful introducing the cobalt into the flame here. Try not to allow it to pop or crack. This will be the first time that it's getting any heat and any warmth to it. And then, like I said, you can see just how wide that jellyfish got there. That was a really nice implosion. Really big push there. And then I just push this on to the back. And I want to make sure I push it on centered so it's not like going off to one side more than the other. And pull it upward some, pull it back down to the bottom, and then we'll pull it off. And then we always melt that down to get it ready and make sure that there's no like rough creases or anything like that, so that way when you put it in the flame, if you have any sort of like creases or wrinkles or ridges like that, then it can crack and pop on you. And this one's probably safe to move that way. I'll just put this here, that we have access to it. And then we just heat up the back and call it a day. We'll make sure it's all melted in, flatten it. Well, we'll pull a loop first, of course, and then we'll call it a day. Finishing up the punching mark, of course, and all the end steps here. So right now we're just melting the cobalt. And I can probably work on leaving less cobalt so then there's less to melt down. But this is when we'll start to direct it into place. Push it over this way. It was a little bit thicker on that one side, so I just gave it a little force from that side. And we'll slowly start to get it to flatten out and into that clear glass there. And like I said, I probably could have left a lot less blue there, so it's more to melt down right now. So now the back is all melt it down nice and flat. I'm going to put it down on the pad here, and it'll help to flatten it out even more. And just push it down on the front using the paddle. And with the heat being on the back side, it should allow the front to stay rounded and flattening only the back there. And then, I don't know if you can see the jellyfish in there, but there's first looks at that jelly with a really big jelly bell or head. And then we just pull the loop. So that's pretty much done. We'll clean up the back side to just make sure that any heat rings are melted out. That there's no any sort of tooling marks from flattening that on the pad there. A lot of times when you push the hot glass onto the pad, it'll create these like rings, like ripples in water. The heat basically explodes outward and it creates those ripples there. It's a pretty interesting part of the physics in glass blowing. And then we'll pull the loop and call it a day. So what's going on, guys? I see a few of you are watching right now. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dan the Glass Man, working live here, just making some more jellyfish. I sold out completely during Christmas with my buy one get one free deal, which is still going on till the end of the year. So let me know if you're interested in any of these. Alright, so now we just get that nice and hot, molten from the blue. Keeping that blue nice and straight. Pulling that upward, then forward. Making sure not to pull it off of the puntee. And then bringing that loop around, keeping that blue glass on the front or the face of the loop. Keeping it nice and straight, bringing that blue to the back, and then trying to pull it off with only clear glass on the back there. So then that's all nice and clean. All the blue has been left on the back side of that. And then you get your reamer. And we can flatten this part out and round up the hole, making sure this is nice and straight. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a lean. So then we flatten that. So now we can just melt that down a little bit better, making it just nice and smooth, getting all the glass to just flow into each other so it's all one piece and doesn't feel like there's a big old crease or anything like that. Heat it up, making sure it's nice and flat. Making sure that the hole is nice and round, keeping everything straight, looking at it from this angle as well to make sure that's nice and straight. And that looks good. I'm happy with that. Maybe make the loop a little bit thicker. I'll just heat it up some. We'll just melt it down just a little bit more, which then makes it a little thicker, a little bit stronger. The hole gets smaller, of course, at that point. Everything just kind of falls down into itself. But yeah, that's nice. So So then that's what I did, just rounded it up and making sure it's nice and smooth. Beautiful jelly. We're going to drop this into the kiln and get on to the next one here. So we just snap that off. Then melt the punchy mark on the bottom to make sure there's no jagged glass marks. You won't be able to feel where that punchy ever was. You just get that a nice flame kiss to it. And usually when I do that, that bottom portion is super hot. The top portion where the loop is cooler. Not cool, but it's cooler than what's at the bottom here, all super molten. And when we look at it, it looks like a sunset in glass. And it just fades out and fades away. All right, there's the finished jellyfish, guys. Let's move on to the next one. All right. So now that this is already pulled, these will be a lot quicker because then it's just building this up and pushing it. As I lay those, I'm trying to keep the twist going. So I spin that glass in my hand and trying to spin that ribbon cane inside to keep it all going in that same direction. Alright, and we just use the marving pad and round that out. Interesting to marve it with the left hand. Hey, love.
I got Luna's markers.
Oh, they came in?
Look at this set. It's so adorable. And then it's all colors.
Whoa, they're all numbered? Those look cool.
These are the professional ones, babe.
Yeah, so then when she runs out, we can just replace them by number.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. She'll love them.
These are professional grade.
She already loved everything already.
I know. This is the last one.
Cool. Our daughter just got one of her final gifts in from the mail. A little delay. She's gonna love those. Professional marker. She's an artist, so trying to just continuously support her and inspire her and get her the right proper tools. Got her into the art school recently, the art high school, and she's loving it. Getting good grades. She's happy. Doing good in math, which has always been an issue, so that's awesome. Okay, so now we got that built up. The color is a little bit shorter on this one, so we'll see what that does, if it makes a smaller jellyfish head or what. But we'll just push that in and let's see what it does. So these jellyfish, they're basically my technique, my style that I created. I was started working on them like probably around 99 or the year 2000, and took me till about 2008 to really perfect them. I was playing with them like, okay, well, pushing a mushroom, then how do you make little tentacles coming off of that? And I was trying to do so many different things, building up too many tentacles, starting from the center and working our way out and building them up and then adding clear glass on it and making them really, really muddy and messy. And then I realized less is more. And I finally figured out that if I just do one center one with the 5 wrapped around it, and sometimes like that first one I added 6, but usually just 5 wrapped around it, that's usually good enough to make it happen and make it look like a real jellyfish in there. A lot of people ask me how did I get the jellyfish in the hot glass, and they don't realize that it is all just glass and it's just mimicked to look like a jellyfish. So that's always, that a huge compliment when people say that, or they think that it's a real jellyfish. But I would not harm any jellies or any animals or anything while making glass or for any reason whatsoever. I don't even hunt. I've hardly ever fished in my life. Alright, so we got that in. We'll cut it off underneath all the multiple tentacles there. Make sure that's all nice and clean and ready for the next ones. Oh, got our first comment. What is going on, Spirit Baby Cal? Spirit Baby Cal. I need to get those necklaces to you. I may have been trying to actually get in touch with you forever. Stay on for a second, please, please, please. Let me pull these out and make sure, because they're all right here. They've been on my desk, and you may have been the one that I've been like trying to figure out on which ones you were gonna choose. At this point, I don't even know like if I have any of those ones that were there from back in those days. I'll check and see if I got them in the thing here. Let me try to do this at the same time. I gotta unbury this here. But I do apologize. There are several, not just you, but also Madame Star has still been waiting, and so anyone who's been waiting this long will be getting extras, that's for sure. That's just what I do. But also, I believe like I was trying to like message on many on many videos and waiting for comments, and I don't know if I ever got the reply back on which ones you chose or which ones you wanted. All right. Got the case finally unburied here. So we got it. We got the case right here. Right on you. Okay. Thank you. I just try to do right. I don't want to have, yeah, I'm sure you probably emailed me, and I'm so horrible at checking email. So it is my bad. Oh, look. Here it is. Right there. Spirit Baby Kel won number 3, number 6, and number 16. Bam. Right there. Still got you right here. I got you. I got Brewing Prospecting 420. And ICU. And then Madame Star. And that's it. So you are the last. Madame Star, I know, has emailed me, and I'm sending a bunch of extras. And Spirit Baby Kel, you won. Apparently you won a blue. This one here. You won. Oh, you were one who got the You want a little UFO, apparently. Right? When I was just playing with these, I still haven't made many more of those. And you also want this dope ass jelly right here, the ghost jelly, which I'm planning to make another one of these right now. I got them. I got them right here. You're good to go. But there was a few, like for this one, the Brewing Prospecting 420 has 2 prizes, but I only have one, and I don't know what the other prize was. So there were like some delays on that one. ICU has a jellyfish also. And is that it? Oh, I guess that's it. I just need to get them shipped now. Bam. So there you go. I will send you extras too, just because it's taken forever and I feel bad, and it's not a big deal to just grab a few little things off of my inventory for you, put them in, and then I can wish you a happy new year. We'll get them out to you. They're definitely not making it for Christmas. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. I did promise Madame Star I was going to get them out for Christmas, and I failed. It is so hard to get everything done. I try to do too much. You know, having a family and running a business, it's a hard thing to do. It's really hard. All right, but let me see if I can type that in for you. All right, cool. Send that email again, please. And that way I have a refreshed email with your address and where I can send it, or P.O. box. Either way is fine. But thank you. Thank you so much for reaching out. And I appreciate you letting me know that you're here and getting me the address so I can get those to you. There's only like a few more I got to send out of all of them, which is really awesome, you know. And it is proper time to get these out because New Year's is coming up. And for New Year's, we're going to push for the next 2K. And I'm going to be doing some glass giveaways, maybe weekly, maybe, I don't know. Maybe weekly, I don't know, maybe daily. I'm not really sure. Daily might get a little bit ridiculous. But I got to figure out ways on how I can do a subscriber push and getting people to join, to enter, to get involved again, to push these videos out there. And maybe there's a way in the YouTube studio that I can verify and see when people actually share it out and how often people share out my video, and then I can every time you share you get like one entry, you know, and then we'll pull the numbers or something like that. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I appreciate you coming in and subscribing when you did a year ago. Has it been a year? Over a year now? A year and a half? That was a lot of fun. It was like a whole day. I mean, a whole month of continuous giveaways, and then I got in trouble and couldn't get on, and I don't know, all kinds of weird stuff happened. It was so crazy. I've never done that before, running a whole 30-day glass giveaway. That was nuts. Where every day we spun the wheel and chose a winner. But that was fun. And thank you. I don't know if you've tuned in recently, but this year in September, our family entered into the creative arts competition again at the state fair here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, for the New Mexico State Fair. So it's a statewide competition. And our son, he entered into the Lego competition, which apparently is one of the largest as far as entries are concerned. And they have so many people who are joining that, starting at a young age group of 6 years old and up to adults, very advanced builders. And our son won Best of Show in first place at 6 years old, starting out in that age category. So congratulations to him. My wife won Best of Show for her cards. She does these beautiful cards, which I gotta show you guys at some point. I may actually have some here. She does well, these aren't anything that are fantastic compared to what she does, but these are like her greeting cards that she makes. And let's see if I can open it up or how it opens. So this says, sending happy thoughts for a very happy birthday. And then you just open it. And it's just a simple card. These ones are some of her first ones that she was making. And they're not like anything advanced compared to what she's been doing. But she won Best of Show. She got 4 first place wins and a second place win. And then I entered just one entry and I won second place. I should have won Best of Show in first place for the torchwork glass entry, but I was the only torchwork the glass entry. So they just decided to slump me in with the slump glass workers, with those who work in the kiln. And they simply just use cold glass and cut it and then fuse it together in a kiln, which is not the same type of glass that I do. It may be hot glass, but it's not working, it's not torch work. And so they stole the Best of Show in first place win from me and slumped me in with the slumped glass workers. But at the same time, I won second place in a competition with a bunch of that kind of glass, which is awesome. And next year, I'm just going to make a slump glass piece with borosilicate glass, soft glass, stained glass. And then I think they'll have to give it to me, right? So yeah, once again, I apologize. I appreciate you. Thank you for loving my work. And thank you for being here still and not just giving up on me. But as you can see, I've saved all the glass there because I want to be honest like that. So, and I was just hoping, one day you'll come back and we'll be able to get that to you. So, thank you. Thank you for your patience, or just thank you for being here still and giving me that opportunity. All right, let's try to get rid of some of this blue and not have as much as last time. That way it doesn't take forever to melt down. Because you really just need a thin layer of blue to make it look blue on the front. You don't need too much on the back side there to then bring out all that blue. Like it looks clear from the side, but then you look in the front and boom, that blue just comes out and it's magnified. So I don't know how long we're going to keep going. It's been an hour already. I like to keep my videos at about an hour or less if possible. Maybe I'll make one more and then we'll cut it, since we're almost done here. At the same time, I might just, I don't know. What should we do? Should we keep it rolling? I just know the playback for anyone to watch a video that's over an hour long is like slim to null. People don't have that kind of patience these days. A lot of people just like to scroll with the 3 second, 5 second memes and videos and the TikTok posts and the little, the cute girls dancing, doing little weird things. Like, okay, you guys all like went to the same dance school or something? Like a little bunny hop or whatever. The TikTok School of Dance. Has anyone made a video about that? The TikTok School of Dance. Sign up today. You can learn the Cabbage Patch, the Running Man. It's like all his old stuff. The mashed potato. You do wax on, wax off. Alright, we almost got this blue all nice. Melt it. We'll get it into position. So that just helps to get it like nice and flat and centered. And that way when I push it from that top, we'll really get it on that back without it moving to the side too much or anything. And right here, I'm flashing the flame just on that back side, getting that blue to fuse in with that clear glass. And then that way the front will stay nice and firm and not get all molten. We have the flame just on the back side on this blue here. And yes, the heat can penetrate through, so you don't want to allow that to occur. And you just let that lay flat naturally, and then push it down. And then I kind of just do this little roundy thing here so I don't accidentally flatten it out. Cool. Then we just heat up that back side. And that's a done jelly right there. We'll get our punchy here and we'll snap it off. So, Spirit Baby Kel, you still here? Still here with me? Did you have a good Christmas? Everything good in your life? I know this year has been a pretty trying year for me, and I've just been keeping the faith, just doing my best to hold on, and we'll just see what comes next year. Come what may. I'll do my best to be ready and prepared for whatever it is. And this coming year, we're going to really push the glass balloons out. I really do want to just get those out. Been following a lot more of the balloon events. Realized that we just had several for Christmas. So next year, I'll be planning to go out to Edgewood in New Mexico. It's just on beyond the mountains from Albuquerque here, about, I don't know, a good 30 minute drive, I guess, maybe 30 to 40 minutes from here. And they have a balloon glow. It was the first annual balloon glow, so next year they'll do it again. I also found out that near my friend's house, they do a balloon glow at the Arroyo del Oso golf course, and that's been going on for apparently like 10 years or something, which I had no idea. Like, what, really? So next year, I need to try to get involved with that one as well. So we really do got to work on making glass balloons at the same time, keeping up with all of the inventory and promoting them and pushing them out there year round, and making as many custom orders as possible for all the pilots and the crew members and everyone who has been in touch with me. And it's going to be one of those things that it's definitely going to be slow going while making custom balloons, because it might take me 3 or 4 attempts to even make it to where I'm happy with it. There's still another balloon that I need to get out there. I made the first attempt, and we got to make another one here soon because that first one I did not like. So we'll be making that one again, which is this one here. Woolly is its name. It's an RC balloon, and it's called Woolly, orange on black. And it's just thick on one spot that I don't like. And I want to have that orange band nice and consistent going all the way around it. So I'm keeping that one for myself. I just put that into my collection of mishaps or whatever, of first attempts. We don't keep any of the good ones because those ones all get sold. All right, and there's another jelly. That's a beautiful jellyfish right there. All right, well, I'll make sure to check the email. Spirit Baby Cal will get that out to you for New Year's. Also, if you're watching Madame Star, I apologize again, and I'm just going to get it out to you. I need to make sure that rent's all taken care of and paid. So it may be the first of the week, the first of the year that I get those out, but look for those. I will, I'll do my best to email you back and let you know when I send those out. And then also we'll get you a tracking number and everything as well. I'm gonna have to ask Santa for a secretary next year and help me take care of all these orders and keeping track of everything. Emailing for me, getting the labels printed for shipping. Whew, there's 2. Shall we make one more? Let's do one more. Let's just do it real quick. We got it all built up and ready. Let's just make it happen. You know what I'm thinking? This probably needs to be pulled out just a little bit. Okay, and then we'll get the thinner one here. We'll draw this one around. Got to make sure to spin those out. I'm going to try to thin this out just a little bit on the marbling tool here. Actually, do another trick here. I just grab it with the color that we're going to use. And just give it a nice little stretch to thin it out. There we go. And round that tip back up some, make it a little bit thick so we can add that colored glass right on the tip. The only thing is when you stretch those, the tentacles get pulled a little bit so they don't have that nice tight twist, but I really only pulled from the top, which is going to be hidden underneath the color anyway, so it should work out just fine. Alright, and just make sure you add enough color. Boom. Now we just got to find that nice sweet spot. I'm still looking for that same kind of burn and melt that I get. There we go. From my other torch. Alright, so now we're at 72, so we're 12 minutes past the hour. I didn't really check to see how long that one took and when we started here. But we'll try to finish this up really quickly and call it a day. Alright, we'll preheat the color. That helps us spread it out nice and wide to really get that color to spread out there. Get this molten. Get that into the center there. Start to push it. Get that color pushed up underneath itself. The tentacles, get those tentacles in there as best as you can. Alright, and then we get the air bubble out. And as we're doing this, we're making sure that the flame is right above the cap of the bell, the head of the jellyfish there. So it's pretty much on that clear rod, and what it's doing is it's also gathering more. So it's building up the pendant just above that. So, you know, kind of gathering it, rounding it up some, making it a little bit bigger and wider up on that top portion. If you don't do that, you don't hold it there, it looks a little weird. So at least for me. So this is the way that I do it. And like I said, this is my own creation on how I figured out how to make these. So if you want to do the Gardenia glass way or the glassman's way of making these, this is how you do it. I'd love to see other glass artists attempt to use my technique here and then have some videos on YouTube and show how it's done, how they do it. I'd love to see their work. Right, then we get that air bubble, I'll melt it. And we get those tentacles melted up under there. And then we allow the back to flatten out. Let me round this up just a little bit better here. And I just let it kind of hang for a minute so all that glass falls down, which then when I flatten it, it pushes it back straight. And I don't know, I just like the way that flows like that. And we'll add the blue glass here. Put that on the back side of the flame to get rid of any of those heat ripples. And push it up in there nice and straight. Up, down, out. Scoop off the excess. Melt down the cobalt rod so it doesn't crack and pop. On the next work. On the next piece that you're working on. And then start melting down the cobalt on the pendant. Now we flatten it, get it prepared. Alright, and we're flattening it on the table. That one came out pretty quick, huh? Get it nice and round. Or flat on the back, but keeping it round on the front. Getting our punchy. Heating up the back side. Getting rid of those heat rings. Which can also be done at the end too when you're doing the loop and everything. Attach the punchy. And then when I heat this, I always make sure that I'm heating up some of that blue, but I'm not heating up too much over the cap of the jelly or the head of the jelly, because I don't want to extend or elongate it and pull it up when I'm pulling the loop here. So we'll get this blue to pull, but not the jellyfish. So it's just working on that very top edge of it, getting enough of that, and you want to hold it straight when you pull it. Pulling it forward, getting that draw that way, then bringing that back side all the way back and around to the back. Cutting it off with just clear glass on the end. Keeping the blue showing on the face of the glass. And you wrap it around. That's the hard part too, is not allowing that blue glass to twist and flip on you. That way when you're looking at it from the front, it just looks like it's all blue going through the background and the loop. Now just make sure that that flows nicely. Keeping things nice and straight. And once I get in the rhythm of these, then they get a lot quicker. Who else is here? I see there's someone else. Or no. The chat disconnected and then it got reconnected. That means that my Wi-Fi or something cut out for a second. So sorry if there was any sort of stuttering in the video there. Delays or what have you. Alright. Make sure it's nice and straight. There's another one. Done. And that one didn't take too long. We're at 78. I think we was like at 72, so 6 minutes ago. So not too bad on that one. Alright, you guys, I'm going to definitely let you go now. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I'm Dan the Glassman. This is the Glassman's World. And I'll continue making these jellyfish here. I need to make at least 20 or more, so I have a good stock in my inventory. And we'll continue to do the buy one get one sale, buy one get one free sale. So please take advantage of that until the end of the year. So you got a few more days to order. All right, thanks for watching. You guys have an awesome day. I'm out.